Prime Minister has been criticised for saying he and his wife Jenny were blessed to have children who aren't disabled while answering a question at last night's People's Forum about the NDIS.
Jenny and I have been blessed. We've got 2 children that haven't had to go through that. And so for parents with children who are disabled, I can only try and understand your aspirations for those children. And I think that is the beauty of the National Disability Insurance Scheme.
Joining me live now is the Labor Senator Katy Gallagher. Senator, good morning. Thanks for your time this morning. So I'm sure that he didn't mean that to be divisive, but it's ended up that way and attracted criticism, particularly from yourself.
Yeah, look, you know, in politics we respond to things. I'm a mother as well, so, you know, when I heard that, of course, my mother instinct responded, and, you know, I have a child with autism and I feel blessed to have her, and I thought the Prime Minister's comments were insensitive and offending to those of us who have our lives enriched by children with autism and with other disabilities. So, you know, I can only explain it like that, you know, politician / mother and having a kid that she's amazing, you know, and to hear a Prime Minister say that they were blessed not to have one, you know, hits you. Yeah,
I mean, could that just be a clumsy comment though, and he didn't mean it that way?
Well, it may be a clumsy comment, but they still are insensitive comments and can offend people. And, you know, maybe he can sort of front up today and explain what he meant by that. But I think for many of us, parents who have children who have autism or have another disability, you know, part of the battle we're up against is this view that our children are less or not as good as others. And, you know, that simply isn't the case. So, you know, as a mother, I stand up for my child, and of course every other parent does. But in a sense, every child is a blessing, right? And to have it kind of said that way, maybe it was clumsy, it was definitely insensitive and definitely offending.
So do you think he needs to apologise for that?
Well, you know, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. I've seen, so, you know, it's not just me. It's many other people who either have a disability or have children with disabilities who have responded to that comment. So, you know, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
The Prime Minister paid credit to Julia Gillard for initiating the scheme, though, which his brother-in-law, Morrison's brother-in-law, benefits from as well. The NDIS, though, as you know, it's so big and complex. You can't guarantee, if you win the election, you can't guarantee that all issues will be ironed out, can you?
Well, I think it's the approach you take. Like, there are certainly areas where we could see improvement in the running of the scheme. I think we've certainly heard that from people who use the scheme. And, you know, any government is going to have to watch and manage the resources that goes into that scheme. But we think there's sensible areas where you can make changes without cutting back on services to people. I mean, at the end of the day, the NDIS is there to ensure that people who have a disability are able to live up to their full potential and engage in civic and community life. And, you know, the community has had a view on that. You know, we've set it up and now it's the time to invest in it, but make sure that those investments are going where they need. You know, not to lawyers, not to consultants, not to labour hire companies. You know, make sure the scheme runs as efficiently and effectively as you can. Yeah, and
well, Anthony Albanese and Bill Shorten announced this a couple of days ago that there would be changes to it, that you'd be cutting those consultants to trim the fat, I suppose, but there would also be a review. Why would you need a review, though? If you know what the problems are, why not just action them straight away?
Well, again, I think any responsible opposition doesn't have all the answers from opposition. You don't have access to all of, you know, the information that the department has around these major programs. So it's sensible to come in. This has been a government for 9 years now. You know, it's worth having a look right across the board, I think, across government about how programs are running, where they're running efficiently and effectively, and where there is sensible improvements to be made. You know, we are inheriting the worst set of budget books if we were to win of any opposition coming into government. So it's going to require some really detailed work about how to make sure that all of our taxpayer funds are going where they need to and that are being used appropriately and efficiently.
OK. The government says that it will not extend the cashless welfare card. Will you keep maintaining that it is, or stop that argument?
Well, I think the way to stop the argument is to say you'll get rid of the card, which is what we will do. And we are only taking the government with the language that they have used about it becoming a universal platform and something that they would like to see extended in terms of income management. So
They say it won't
as long
extend to
as the
pensioners, though. That won't extend.
Yeah, well, they say that. They say a whole range of things, Pete, but, you know, then change their mind down the track. The fact is they are pouring resources into how the cashless debit card works, and both the Minister and the Prime Minister have made comments saying that they would like to see how it could be more widely used. That is the reality. We are saying that it shouldn't be used and that we would abolish it. The government is not in that cart, and therefore there remains a risk about how it will be used and how it will be expanded. And that's the end of the story.
Okay, Senator Katie Gallagher, we're out of time.